Hey guys, Thomas Sulu Jr. here, aka Mustache Chum, and welcome to what is probably going to be one of my final movie reviews for a really long time, most likely. So, it is a bummer, but at least I get to go out doing my movie reviews, going out with where I started, where it all began on my channel with Digimon, of course. Where else would it end if it were to end? I found this rather fitting, but uh, the reason why movie reviews will not be continuing is that I don't have the money right now, and I was gonna do a bunch of movie reviews for Power Rangers and all the other movies that came out recently, but again, just tight on money, so that won't be. So I'll be transferring over to focusing on Let's Plays just as an update. Anyways, this will be a spoiler review for Digimon Tri-Loss, and as every other review of this movie, I will post a link of Digimon Tri-Loss from Crunchyroll so you can see it for yourselves, and I'll even put a link in the description as well to the first Digimon Tri movie so you can see all the movies that have come out since. So, once again, this is going to be a spoiler review. So, we start off the movie with kind of where we left off, but we're focusing on the FBI lady, whose name I actually never really remembered. But in this movie, they do focus more on her backstory, as well as the FBI guy she's with. We get to see how they were Digi-destined, I think, at one point, or they had Digimon at the very most at one point. And they were fighting the four, I believe, I don't remember what the group name was, but it was like four Digimon. It was Puppetmon, Piedmon, Machinedramon, and Metal Seedramon. Of the four of them, once again, because of the reboot, we learn later on they return to wreak havoc. But we continue with the Digimon not remembering what they were or what their connection was to the humans. So they have to rebuild that trust and connection, and the toughest one to get through is for Sora and Biyomon. Biyomon being the least trustworthy. It seems like that seems really interesting because the way that Biyomon behaved, it seemed like if she had never met Sora, she might have actually become evil. Like that's like the look she gave off. Like she could have gone off a darker path or something. But they spend their time with the Digimon, slowly building that trust. And again, we get to see bits and pieces of the FBI lady's backstory and hit her connection again with that FBI dude. I believe at one point they said they were like dating. Um, so that was interesting. We get to see more of Dark Jedi or Evil Jedi or the Dark Emperor. Like they're the same, pretty much the same thing. He's really creepy in this movie. Like he does one really creepy thing at one point where he just like straight up like licks. I believe it was Mimi. I think it was. But it's a really weird, awkward scene. It's like, ugh, don't do that, you know. But other than that weirdness, I really liked that continuation from building up of what a reboot uh, means for Digimon. You know, again, I talked about this a little bit last time, and I felt like it applies here as well. Is that it builds off of what a reboot means. You know, actually having the characters address that in the story, you know, have that be a part of the story, have that be a part of the message. I think that's a really clever way of handling something like this. And like I said last time, I really think that that was the first movie that really made me think, huh, you know, I have a little bit more respect for reboots after that movie, honestly. And this one just follows up on that path, I believe. Um, trying to rebuild that connection, and they get to the point where they are able to digivolve again on their own. Or I mean, well, from baby to rookie, they're able to do it on their own when they eat. But later on, they need their human partners to evolve to the greater levels. And as the poster implies, of course, I said it earlier, Sora had the most difficulty, so she gets the next step in her evolution. Phoenixmon for Biomon, and TK as well gets Serafimon in this one as well. I believe that was new for him. I think that might have been the previous movie, but I'm pretty sure that was new here. Anyways, it takes those two as well as Golden Gobuterimon to take out Machinedramon, which is the one that stayed around and tried to fight them. And then Metalcedron was about out and about too, but Ty and Matt, handled that situation. I mean, there was one point where they got separated and they were all brought back to places they had previously been, like you know. TK ended up back in like Toy Town or whatever little town that was with Elecmon in it. And then I believe Mimi ended up in that ghost shrine. I think it was that. I think because she was there with Joe last time doing the Bakuman Lose Your Power. I believe that's the reason they sent those two there specifically. But it was kind of unclear what sent them to these different locations, like because Machinedramon was about to like finish them off, and then they just like scattered all over the place. Apparently, it was due to some distortion, but we don't know what caused the distortion. At least I don't. And then it happens again later on, which allows them to reunite to the end of the movie, where again you get to see those further Digivolutions. And since everyone else is so focused on that evil Genai or evil Emperor, who is now evil Genai, caught up with Mako and Mei. Mei appeared in the digital world. I don't know how that came to be precisely, but I don't know. It's a little bit of an odd thing to happen. I don't think it takes too many points away from the movie overall, but it's just like an odd little thing. Anyways, she bumps into Maikomon, and then Maikomon's of course struggling because she still has that evil side, still able to digivolve into that darker, bigger Digimon. And, of course, Mei still blames herself for that. But the evil Genai captures Mei, and then forces Maikomon to do that dark Digivolution as the end of the movie. So this has been the 4th Digimon Tri movie, and I am so surprised that they were able to get 4 out within this time span. They had 2 last year, and the first movie before the year before that. Now we're already at the 4th Digimon Tri movie. And it's going to be a roller coaster because we're going to keep going, because I think there's 3 more Digimon Tri movies planned, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that was the number I've seen somewhere floating around the internet. But as for this movie, I really enjoyed it. Of course, that's a given with my personal connection with Digimon Tri. I felt the ending got a little bit slowish when they had to do the digivolving process again. And that's par for the course for these Digimon movies, of course, where you gotta, the transformation scene has to take up that large amount of time, so I think I would have given it a 9 out of 10, but there were just a few hiccups here and there toward the end, and there were just like a few other questions that were just, they felt like they could have been answered here, but they weren't. Like why Mei ended up in the world, like that was sort of mysterious. but I still really enjoyed it. I would still give it an 8 out of 10. Because I feel like it built off of that, again, that emotional state of the previous film, and I think that helped this movie build itself up to be its own thing as an additional part of the previous film as well. So I look forward to whatever Digimon Try has for, I believe, I don't know when the next one's coming out, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. So I'll be able to review that movie when it comes to Crunchyroll for free. So I guess that might be my returning point for movie reviews as far as that's concerned. So, yep, video game movie, video game let's plays from this point forward for me for now. So that's my little update. And I guess until next time, this has been Thomas Sulu Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!